And welcome back. Happening now, May 19th, 2018, the candidate training course. Everybody's been talking about that. The candidate training course is taking place for women interested in running for elected office. And joining us to share more about this, as well as the importance of women in politics, we have instructor Sharon Nelson. We welcome you.
Hello, Dr. Bob. Good morning.
I heard you were hanging out with the Lieutenant Governor.
Yes. Well, Kathy Hochul is amazing.
Yes.
I actually serve on her suffrage commission, which is an organization that celebrates the centennial. New York State had our centennial last year, where we celebrated the right of women to vote.
Oh, I like it.
In 1917, we got that right.
Ooh. Now, what is the message with Crew and Sheroes?
The message with Crew, well, civically re-engaged women is what Crew stands for. And what we do is we provide professional development training for women, underserved and underrepresented populations. We find that we were doing this before the whole pop of the women's movement came about. And we found that now, the fierce urgency of now dictates that we are really in there and making our voices heard as a community. Women are the largest underserved and underrepresented constituency group. So it cuts across the board. So it only made sense that we have this organization to amplify women's voices.
Women are standing up. You saw the political messages in the Oscars last
That's right.
night. Yeah. So where do we go from here? Can you both share the backgrounds in politics?
Yes.
Your background is?
Yes. Well, the Lieutenant Governor was wonderful. She came and inaugurated the class. She actually adopted the class.
Okay.
And she told the women, I mean, she's so inspirational. She's so personable. And she told them her story, how she got started. And it was really relatable, honest, and just really refreshing to see, because oftentimes when we sit with politicians, you feel like, oh, they're not really caring about me. They really are not really present. She was very much present. She was very much engaged in the conversation. What Crew and candidate training does, our class is called Parity Politics. We're at the School of Professional Studies, which is one of the City University of New York's institutions. And for the next 10 Saturdays, we're going to be there. This is the last Saturday to enroll. Saturday, March 10th would be the last day to enroll.
That's for the candidate training course.
Right. But the class is going every Saturday for 3 hours, and it's chock full of information, Bob.
What are students going to learn? I'm going to say students because they're going to be a student of politics.
Right. Well, it's continuing education,
Yes.
so it's all adults. And what people learn is, one, how to get on the ballot. It is the easiest thing to throw you off of the ballot, especially if you don't know what you're doing. What we do is we coach them about getting an election lawyer, how to vet the people working for you, how to know the questions to ask, how to put a message together, how to do a campaign plan.
Yeah, you got to
It's
come
very
equipped.
intense.
Yeah.
Well,
and then know your area, too. You have to do some research.
Right. I mean, know your district, know your constituents. Constituents, etc. And it's interesting because a lot of people say, well, you're charging for this and people pay you money. Well, yeah, people who are serious, because this is a life-altering decision. And it's very meaningful, and you have to be mindful of your actions. You have to take responsibility. You have to be sort of the CEO of your business. And that's what people don't understand. Politics is a business.
So you got to come with a lot, and you have to know who to
That's right.
roll with, because you need a lot of people helping you out with this.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we have
you need
a wonderful
chief of staff. You need, some people who really know the landscape here.
Well, I'm really blessed because we have wonderful people working with us. William Allen, who is the professor of the course, he's a CUNY professor. He's been teaching at John Jay Political Science for the last 10 years. And, when I was looking for the right person to lead the class, I really wanted to have the person who had the knowledge base, the experience. He was a senior officer at the Board of Elections. I mean, so there's no question that comes in. He was a former candidate. He's currently a district leader. He started a political club. I mean, this man has an incredible resume.
So if a young lady wants to come up to you and say, I want to take a stab at it, what's the first thing she should know or the first thing she should do?
The first thing she should do is plan, because she should talk to her family. She should understand what her resources are. Can she fundraise? Does she have a message? Does she have any kind of community service to draw upon? Because people who you want to represent you, we want to know what you've been doing.
Yeah, and also, you know, when you go up to a person who's been in it for a while, they want to know one question. They're going to ask you, well, what's your purpose? What do you want to do?
That's right. Why should I vote for you?
Yeah.
Who are you? You know, I've never seen you before. I mean, people are famous for saying that.
Yeah.
But people who are in the community, serving on your community board would be a good thing to do. Serving on the school board would be a good thing to do.
To
Parents
get
Association.
involved.
Absolutely. People must see and know who you are. You don't just sort of roll out of bed and say, I'm going to run for office today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good way. That's not the path to
So
viability.
that's the best way. That's the path to get on the map.
That's right.
Community
That's right.
boards, visit schools, find out who's
That's
in your
right.
police department.
Be
and
involved.
who's-
You know, go
Who are the
volunteer at the
electeds in
fire
your area?
department. Exactly, exactly. Go volunteer for the Board of Elections. Go be a poll watcher. That's a paid position. I mean, there's so many things you could do right now. You know, in addition to running, you can go and volunteer to work on a women's campaign.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
got to get the knowledge of what to say, what to do, how to be, how to present yourself.
Absolutely.
So how did you get involved in this? How did you know you wanted to get women involved in running and training them to become electeds?
Well, it's funny. It's sort of like one of those things you don't kind of go on the path to do. I've always loved politics. But one of the things that happened to me is in 2014, I was approached by the National Women's Political Caucus. Linda Young was the president nationally at the time, and she asked me to restart the New York City chapter. We had elections coming up. The 2016 presidential election was coming up. And they really wanted to make sure, because we knew viable women candidates were coming down the pipeline, that the chapter was strong and ready, because obviously New York is a player in a national campaign.
Yeah.
So that's how I fell into this niche.
Who are some strong women to look up to who are up and coming, who are ready to?
Well, I
into
like
it.
this girl in Queens. Have you seen her? Alexandria Castillo Cortes.
Now, what's she running for?
Well, guess what? Using
running
a
for
page.
city council?
No, she's running for Congress.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to take a
Let's
page.
bypass all. Let's jump up to Congress.
Well, I'm going to take a page from
Yeah.
Obama. You know, she's a fierce urgency, and now she picked up her clipboard and she
Yeah.
got it done. You know, so, you know, we have a county leader in Queens, a congressman who, you know, he's been at it a long time.
So-
and one of the things we should do is we really need to know when
Yeah.
enough is enough.
Yeah.
You've had your best years behind you. So it's time for a new voice to come up onto the thing. And I admire young women who have the initiative and the gumption to take that next step.
Yeah. Well, the first step, I guess, you mentioned, you know, those things, but district leader, then city council. What are those steps up to all the way up to senator?
It's not
or
necessarily
Congress?
sequential. What it
You
is,
can bounce around, but know a little something about politics.
Exactly. But I would just say, you know, not like Donald Trump, who goes in as the entry-level job as president of the United States. But it has
can
been
happen,
done. And we see it happening every day. But we also see the ramifications of
Yeah,
that.
yes,
And
yes.
we see the discord of that. You know, because he really is like a bull in a china shop.
Where can we go for more information on what you're doing?
Well, great. You can go to Sharon Nelson1 at AOL.com, which is my personal email address, and find out information about Sheroes. We also have a conference coming up in Seneca Falls, New York, the birthplace of the women's rights movement. And you can see www.crewwomen.org
Yeah.
for more information. That's our landing page. And we're just so happy. We're happy that people are getting it.
Well, they chose
and
the
they're
right
believing
person
in
to lead it.
themselves. Thank you, Dr. Bob.
You got
Pleasure.
the Sheroes. Can some heroes get involved?
Hey, well, that might be next
That's
year.
next.
Thank you so much.
Give her a big round of applause, everybody. Sharon Nelson, founder, president, CEO of CREW, and it stands for?
Civically re-engaged women.
There you go. We have to take a quick break. We'll be right back next.